VMware vSAN is an object-based storage system integrated into VMware vSphere. Virtual machines that live on vSAN storage are comprised of several storage objects. vSAN uses the concept of RAID tree to ensure protection of all objects. A component is the leaf of an object's RAID tree and is how redundancy is provided to a given object. In this example, the object is a 700 GB VMDK. Since components have a maximum size of 255 GB, it'll take 3 components to make one full copy of this object. The VMDK also has a VM storage policy configuration of RAID 1 and failures to tolerate equaling 1. This will require 2 replicas of the object on different hosts, with a witness component acting as a tiebreaker. The ability to restore an object to its desired level of compliance for protection is a primary duty for vSAN. When an object is reported absent, the object will remain available for use, but not in a redundant state. vSAN will identify components that go absent and begin a repair process to satisfy the original protection policy. Components will begin the repair process after 60 minutes from the time reported as absent. This object repair timer helps alleviate unnecessary component repairs and rebuilds by planned activities such as maintenance mode or perhaps a brief interruption in network connectivity. In some circumstances, you may be aware that the maintenance window or a failed object is going to last longer than 60 minutes, in which case you may want to repair the object immediately. Let's take a look at this in vSphere. In this example, all the VMs are configured with a RAID 1 and a failures to tolerate equaling 1. Looking at the vSAN virtual objects, I can see that my physical disk placement has 2 components and 1 witness, all with an active component status. A component can either be active, meaning the component is accessible, absent, meaning the component is inaccessible with no explicit error code sent. This could be short maintenance mode window, a host reboot, or a network outage. Degraded, meaning the component is inaccessible with error code. For example, a device failure in which case the rebuild will begin immediately. And active stale, meaning the sequence number of the components are not up to date. This can happen with multiple host failures where one is coming back online. To trigger an absent component, I'm going to put a host in maintenance mode, choosing the option No Data Migration. This means no objects will be migrated to other hosts within the cluster, leaving the respective VM non-compliant with the storage policy. We can now test what the impact will be of placing a host in maintenance mode with no data migration by clicking on Go to pre-check. I'll check what the estimated impact is on object compliance and availability on the cluster capacity and the predicted health tabs. I can see that there will be objects that will become non-compliant with their storage policies, and their availability will be reduced. Let's click Enter Maintenance Mode. I now see that the components residing on the host in maintenance mode change to a component state of absent. This and all other components on that host now have a vSAN object status that is of a reduced availability with no rebuild. This means that the objects on the host have suffered a failure, but vSAN was able to tolerate it. If this was a planned outage of less than 60 minutes, like a reboot or a brief network failure, I could just wait for the 60-minute repair to time out and let vSAN rebuild the objects automatically. But I'm planning for an extended outage, so I'll click Repair Objects immediately. vSAN will now initiate rebuild of the absent objects on available hosts in the cluster. By clicking Resync Objects, I can see the status of the components that are currently being resynchronized. A quick refresh shows me that all objects are rebuilding. For more information on components and rebuilds, go to storagehub.vmware.com.